of the Always Believe House. Oh, today we're going to continue on Staar Review 24, and it's going to be F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. So a magical whiteboard appears, and we're going to work on the front graph, okay? We're going to graph this parabola. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, remember, you got to get the vertex and then 2 points above and 2 points below. You could graph it and trace to the vertex. If you did not have you don't have a calculator, you could get that with the negative b over 2a, which is your axis of symmetry, which gives you the x-coordinate of the vertex. So that's what we're going to do. So on this problem here, our a is -1. That means this parabola will open down on it. The b is -2 and the c is 3 in it. Also remember your c, let me get this right, the c number is going to be your y-intercept, right? So I know that this parabola will cross the y-axis at 3. Now then, we're going to do negative b over 2a, so I've already given you a negative and a fraction bar. The b is a -2 and the a is a -1. Notice you can see 1, 2, 3 negatives. 3 is odd, so the answer is negative, and 2 divided by 2 times 1 is -1. So that -1 goes right here. The -1 is also your axis of symmetry, right? So my axis of symmetry is going to be x equal -1. That's the line that flips the parabola in half in it. Okay, now then, we're going to graph this and get the two numbers above and the two numbers below, right? So I have this table right here. Now then, let's go to the calculator. I'm going to go to graph, B, and I'm going to type in -x squared, and then minus 2x plus 3. So minus 2x plus 3. So -x squared minus 2x plus 3, hit enter, and I get the parabola and it opens down. Now then remember, I want the table. I want all those numbers from the table, right? So I'm going to hit Control T, and now I have my table and I want the -1 in the middle. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to put the -1. Now that on my calculator I could see 5 rows, you could probably only see 4. But this right here, the -1 is the vertex, right? -1, 4. Also notice that I have my whole table here, right? So I'm just going to copy this table over onto the table on the paper. So this is 0, 3, 4, 3, and 0 in it. Now that I'm going to graph these ordered pairs, -3, 0, -2, 3, -1, 4, 0, 3, which is my y-intercept, right? And then 1, 0, and then I'm going to draw the parabola, right? Ho, 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 ho. Okay, now then we're going to answer the questions. So the roots are zeros of the parabola. The roots are the same thing as the zeros. They're right here and right here, aren't they? And in the table, they're here and here, aren't they? And they're going to be -3 and 1. If you input -3, you output 0. If you input 1, you output 0. The y-intercept of the parabola is right here, and it's 3 in it. That's equal to your c in it. And then lastly, the max or min is right here, and we have a max since it opens up, doesn't it? The range of the parabola is this. It's going to be all the numbers smaller than 4, right? So y is less than or equal to 4. The axis of symmetry is this line right here, x equals -1. And remember, your domain will always be all real numbers. Your domain will always be all real numbers. Let's turn the page, and I'm going to start you off on some of these problems. Let's do 21. You should be able to easily answer 21 and 22. On 22, the rate of change is your slope or your growing number. So on these problems here, you're just going to find the slope or the growing number, aren't you? Okay, that's going to be pretty simple. Now then on 21, we're going to get the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by -3 is -2. I could graph the line now, can't I? So my x is 3 and my y is -2. I'm going to connect the dots. And since the y is negative, this is going to flip and be greater than, which means I'm going to shade up. So on this line, I will shade up. On the next one, I'm going to do it a different color here. 3 divided by 3, my x-intercept's 1. This has a 1 in front of it. 3 divided by 1 is 3. And so I could graph 1. Oh, I'm sorry, x equals 1. And then I'm going to graph y equals 3. And on this one, I'm going to shade down. I'm going to let you draw those. Also remember, this one will be dashed. And this line will be solid, won't it? So one of your lines will be solid, one of them will be dashed, okay? And let's go down to the bottom 3. We're going to get into these this week, okay? Very important right here. We're going to be writing quadratic equations given properties of the graph. So on this one right here, the 7, 10 will be my x and y, and the vertex is my h and k. So I have y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. That's the vertex form in it. I know all of these letters, but I don't know a. So I'm going to plug them into the equation and I'm going to solve for a. So my y is 10 equals, I do not know what a is, parentheses, my x is 7, and then the h is going to flip in it. The h is 4, but when I put the 4 in the equation, it's going to be minus 4 squared, and then plus a negative 8, I'm just going to put minus 8. Now then, I'm going to solve this for a. So I'm going to have 10 equals a, 7 minus 4 is 3, and 3 times, and I'm going to do this here. 7 minus 4 is 3, 3 squared is 9, 9 times a is 9a, and then minus 8. Now that I'm going to move the 8 over and divide by 9. So the first thing you want to do on this is this part right here and put the answer in front of your a. Now then move the 8 over. If I move the 8 across, I'm going to add 8 and I'm going to end up with 18 equals 9a. Divide by 9 and I get 2 equals a. So my a on this is 2, which is going to make the graph steeper, right? So I'm going to put y equal 2. The h won't change, minus 4, and then minus 8 at the end. Ding, 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 ding. I just wrote that equation in vertex form, right? Now then, to change it to standard, this is going to take some time. I'm going to do x, I'm going to write down the whole thing again. Y equals 2, parentheses, x minus 4. Jiminy crickets. This is very tedious, okay? Probably the hardest thing you're doing before school lets out right here. It's a little bit easier than factoring, but it's just tedious, okay? So the first thing we got to do is this x minus 4 squared. So y equals 2, x minus 4. Remember, you're going to square, square, multiply, double. 2 parentheses, x times x is x squared. Negative 4 times negative 4, skip a spot, plus 16, and then multiply, double. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. If I double it, I get negative 8x. And then minus 8. Now then, I'm going to bluebell truck the 2. Remember, this is tedious. So y is equal to 2x squared minus 16x plus 32 minus 8. And all I got to do is combine those. So I'm going to write it in here. Y equal 2x squared minus 16x. 32 minus 8 is a plus 24, and remember that 24 is your y-intercept in it. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, now then let's go to 33. Got to remember the transformations. And let's write this down here. Write down y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. The a vertically stretches it, the h moves it left or right, and the k moves it up or down, right? And if this is negative, it flips it, right? Or it reflects it. So we have a vertical stretch, we have a move left or right, we have an up or down. So what do we have on this one? We have the negative, which means we're going to reflect across the x-axis. The 3 is going to make it steeper. It's going to vertically stretch. And then there's no h. There's no parentheses, so there's no h. And the plus 5 is going to translate the parabola up 5. Translate up 5. So those are the transformations of that parabola. Let's go to the next one. Write the quadratic given the four transformations. We're going to reflect across the x-axis. So we have a negative, a vertical stretch of 2, parentheses, we go right 4. That's going to be minus 4. It's opposite, right? And then up 3. Piece of cake. Now then, let's go to 34. Write the quadratic function of a parabola that has zeros of 3 and 7. These are the x-intercepts. Remember, your zeros and your factors are opposites. So if my 0 is 3, my factor is going to be x minus 3. If my 0 is 7, my factor will be x minus 7. Now then, I could multiply these and get my answer, right? So x times x is x squared. Negative 3 times negative 7 is a plus 21. And then a negative 3x and a minus 7x minus 10x, right? So x squared minus 10x plus 21 equals 0. And then lastly, complete the square, rewrite it in vertex form. Going to learn this week. Write down y equals x squared minus 10x and move the 21 over. Equals negative 21. Now then, to complete the square, you got to take your b term. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5, and squared, you get plus 25, don't you? So I'm going to add 25 to both sides. Oh! Now then, this is a perfect square now. This is going to be x minus 5 squared equals 4, right? Negative 21 plus 25. Move the 4 across, and bam, I got my vertex form. The vertex would be 5 comma negative 4, wouldn't it? Ho, 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 ho. Okay, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you've enjoyed this. Jiminy crickets. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching these lessons all year. I hope you enjoy watching these lessons and learning about algebra. We're trying to make this fun. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.